I'm Alex, I'm the Chief Exec of Frazzled Cafe, and I'm going to kind of run through at pace our pitch. I'm slightly frazzled already, so I might pop to one of our sessions after this. So looking forward to your questions after, and thank you so much for having us. So we're living in challenging times. Life was stressful enough before the pandemic, but with global security uncertainty, a cost of living crisis, and a looming recession, it's no surprise that people report feeling more stressed than ever. As we're all aware, we are going through a mental health crisis, with rates of ill mental health going through the roof in the past few years. At the same time, mental health resources and treatments are more and more difficult to access, meaning that people are becoming sicker and sicker, and it's driving them to breaking point. There are serious ramifications in our world, which we all know about or read about every day in the news or online, which show the devastating impact leaving mental health unchecked and untreated can have. At Frazzled Cafe, we are only too aware of the impact of acute stress, which is why we work to stop it. Frazzled Cafe is a national wellbeing charity founded by the writer, presenter, and comedian Ruby Wax, who continues as the charity's patron to this day. We were created in 2017 in response to the many people that Ruby met on her best-selling book and theatre tours. She noticed that if people in the audience were offered the space to talk about the stresses and pressures they were facing in their lives, almost all of them took the opportunity, and their relief at being properly listened to was palpable. Frazzled Cafe was born out of Ruby's lived experience of the damaging effects of stress and how, when left to wreak havoc, it can become unmanageable and incredibly destructive. Talking about her own mental health journey, Ruby often says, "The simple act of feeling heard, to me, has always been half the cure." When we were set up in 2017, we were there to provide peer-to-peer support for people who are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or to use the neurological term, feeling frazzled. Whilst we were originally face-to-face, we moved our facilitated meetings online on Zoom, where we hold them every single day of the year for anyone who needs them. And we run from 7:30 in the morning until 7:30 at night. And thousands of people join us from all over the world each year, from Burnley to Bulgaria. The sessions are free of charge, and anyone can book on and be included to talk, share, listen, and to feel heard by a supportive community of attendees who all know how it feels to be overwhelmed and struggling. At Frazzled Cafe, we don't provide counselling, therapy, or advice, but what we do provide is a welcoming community of human beings struggling with the everyday stresses and strains that, when left unchecked, can build up into an unmanageable crescendo. Who amongst us has not felt the panicked dread of feeling totally overwhelmed at least once in their lives, or perhaps even more frequently than that? I know I certainly have, and that was just today. Or that slightly clouded, out of focus feeling of being stretched to snapping point, of knowing that you're operating from a place of stress and anxiety, when every additional ask of you feels like it's adding to an already unimaginable burden. In 2018, so pre-pandemic, 3/4 of UK adults reported feeling so stressed they felt totally overwhelmed or unable to cope. Over half of adults who felt stressed reported feeling depressed, and 61% reported feeling anxious. And of those, 16% self-harmed, and almost a third said they'd had suicidal thoughts and feelings. While some people will always need a higher level of intervention, we know that talking and feeling heard really can make a difference to people's mental health. Our aim is to help prevent those stresses building up and threatening people's well-being and mental health. Frazzled Cafe works a bit like a safety valve to relieve that pressure. Our small peer support sessions are run by highly trained volunteer facilitators who are usually counsellors or psychotherapists, for people to come and talk in a safe, supportive space about whatever is going on in their lives. We don't allow advice giving, and we ask everyone to be present in the meeting with their cameras on so that everyone sharing their experiences can look one another in the eyes and know that they are being truly heard. Our facilitators are robustly trained over a 16-week period where we make sure that both us and them are the right fit for one another. Training our facilitators is key to ensuring the success of our model so that they are equipped with the skills to manage the meeting effectively. Potential facilitators go through a 16-week training process where they discuss behaviours, person specification and fit, and have long periods of observation and feedback before they run a meeting, supervised at first and then eventually solo. There are check-ins with the team and feedback throughout, as well as mental health first aid training, suicide awareness training. And once that programme is complete, there are regular check-ins and feeding back on meeting content, challenges and support to make sure we've empowered them to deal with any complexities that may arise during our sessions and support their ongoing development. Any money we raise tonight will help us train up to 4 new facilitators to help us deliver meetings to even more people who are struggling with their mental well-being, which now there are more people than ever. Frazzled Cafe is a data-driven organisation. We collect anonymised data from our attendees before and after every meeting through polls, so we can measure our impact in real time. Our polls clearly demonstrate that our model works. Over 8 in 10 people who use our services report feeling better after just one meeting. And I had to go and check that stat several times before I believed it myself. Our polls demonstrate that unique combination of mindfulness and structured, compassionate listening has a measurable positive effect on people coming to us for support. Last year, we ran almost 1,000 online meetings, and thousands of people use our services every year. Our attendees tell us that Frazzled Cafe plays an integral role in keeping their stress levels under control and their mental health on track. Frazzled Cafe is a simple intervention, but it can be the difference between being able to cope and descending into a mental health crisis. Our model is simple but scalable, which means that we are able to be agile and react in real time to issues and demand for our services. For example, with just a few days' notice, we can double the number of meetings we have if we know we're going to have a peak in demand, and we hope that easy scalability of our model will allow us to grow exponentially. We're seeking your support tonight to allow us to develop and grow our services further so we can recruit and train more facilitators so we can broaden our reach and make sure that as many people as possible can benefit from our simple, effective service.